Howdy, Ken. How you doing today?
Good. It's going to be hot. Not as hot as today's podcast, but it is going to be a scorcher here.
It's getting warm up in here. Episode 46. The question I have for you today is how do I build a list as an affiliate marketer? Me, how do I build a list as an affiliate marketer?
Yeah. How do you build a list as an affiliate marketer?
Yeah. Well, I start with going to solo ads are the best traffic source.com. Don't go to that site, people. That was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke. Inside joke. That was an inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would definitely not be going that route. Let's get that. Let's get that one right off, right out of the way. No solo ads, please.
So I think we need to define as we normally start out because when we try to focus on something, we need to understand what we're focusing on. So how do I build a list as an affiliate marketer is the question. But I think there's a bigger question. What is a list?
Yeah.
Right? What's your definition of a list? Now,
Yeah.
my definition of a list is list equals audience. What about you?
Yeah, I equate that to my audience, but it's an audience of people who share the same similarities, the same desires, the same. They're in the same niche that I'm in, and so they're highly targeted people on that list that I can relate to, and they can relate to me. So an
So,
audience for sure.
yeah. So once you have that target down, right? So you go through that whole avatar exercise, and the person you're looking for. You understand that they have a problem, and that problem you have a solution for, and that's sort of how you build your content around that problem to get them to the solution, which is your affiliate offer. But my audience, the people that are on my list, we'll just start with an email list. The people that are on my list versus the people that are on my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel is my audience.
Yeah.
So that's technically still a list of people that are interested in my stuff that I have access to through the algorithm, through notifications, right? There's some back end tagging. I could probably get in ads and do all kinds of crazy stuff as far as building a quote unquote air quotes for the podcast listeners audience, right? But then there's an email list, which is an extra step. So that step is the people that raise their hand and say, "Yes, Gary, I want more detailed information from you. I want a more controlled or more one-on-one conversation with you. So I'll get on your email list. That way I get your emails, I'll get more information, I'll learn more about you as a person, as a marketer. I'll learn more about how you can help me solve my problem. And if I need, I can hit reply and I can ask you questions."
Yeah, yeah, and just the way that you go about building them too is just so different. When somebody subscribes to your YouTube channel, technically that's your audience, obviously, but number one, you don't know who those people are because they some of them will turn off the notification that they are a subscriber of your channel. And the people that are on that audience or that are part of your subscribers on your YouTube channel aren't necessarily the people that are on your list. Like you said, that the people on your list took that extra step to maybe do their homework on you. They liked what they heard, your style, whatever resonated with them, and they said, yes, I want to take that extra step. I want to click an extra step by clicking that box to give consent. I'm going to opt in to your list to build that personal relationship. And there's just so many different ways to build that list, and you can your audience it's everywhere. I mean, we were talking earlier on backstage about social media, having your social media like a Facebook group, or your Facebook followers also is another list. So there's so many different ways to build your list. But ultimately, honing down that list to the people who are going to get the most value out of what you're providing is important. And you talked about it, and I don't, not to mean to sidetrack a little bit, but we're talking about Facebook, for example, and how you're like, hey, I talk about what I do because this is who I am and this is what I do. And if they don't like it, then they don't click on it. And the beauty of that is that Facebook itself is now helping you to segment your list for you. Now, whenever you post something, the people who are only interested in what you post are going to see that. The people who interact with your content, right? Which is kind of is interesting that it's this segmentation that's going on without you even having to do anything other than produce the content that you want to produce.
Yeah. So I think when you go back to building that list, after you define what a list is, and we sort of said that list is an audience.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about our audience as real people that have a problem.
Yeah.
Right. Specifically inside of our niche. So the thing that we're creating content for to solve that problem for those people that are going to join our list. And then after that, you have the technical aspect of building a list. Right. So creating that content and then people coming to your blog, putting comments on your blog post, right? That may seem like old and antiquated, but it still may be the thing that resonates with your specific list, with your specific audience.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you have a YouTube channel, then you have a podcast, then you have a squeeze page, then you have, the autoresponder to put people on an email list. But that squeeze page also might put them on a Facebook Messenger list, right? These are all technical things that you can do through getting that person to raise their hand and adjusting their level of commitment to you and how much or how committed they are to being part of your audience on these different list sort of mechanisms.
Yeah. There's just so many ways to talk about building that audience and the different, I guess you could say, vehicles to deliver your message. I never really understood. I always thought about just lists. I want to build an email list. That's what I want to do. I want to find my audience, build an email list. But there's so many other avenues out there that you can build up that audience. And I think people need to understand that when we talk about lists, and I'm using the air quotes as well for those of you guys listening to the podcast, we're talking about a list. That is your audience, and you can build an audience in so many different ways, and use so many different vehicles. And the professor mentioned it, with Messenger, you can even build an audience through WhatsApp. You can use WhatsApp as another. There's just so many different ways to do it. It's incredible. But once people take that extra step to become part of your audience and be a part of your tribe, so to speak, I'm using the air quotes a lot today.
It feels good.
It does. I feel liberated to use it more and more often. But once they opt in, it's just that building of that relationship, and that's a part that, to me, when I think about an audience, is having more of a personal one-to-one conversation with them. Even though it may seem like when I send out an email, to those of you out there, it may seem like, well, that's not personal. You're sending out an email. Well, but when you craft that email and you share different aspects of your life and what you're doing, and the professor can give you an example of what he does to build up that relationship, and it works. It really, really works. That when you build that up, people get to know you, and from there you actually build a more long-lasting relationship and a relationship with that customer. They keep coming back more and more often because of that relationship you built up on that list.
Yeah. So that sort of mechanism or that sort of copywriting trick or that thing that I do to build an audience or build a relationship in my email is I always start off with the daily weather report.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I got that, and I covered this in Backstage. We talked about this in more detail about where I got that from. It's old school direct response, right? It's copywriting. It's tactics, techniques, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call them, to sort of just let people know that, hey, I'm a real person. It's a real email. It came on this day, you know what I mean? Because there's going to be times, no matter which type of media you're using, like in a Facebook group, there's auto posters, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you can schedule posts ahead of time. Mm-hmm. People know, or people can get a feel for, when you're writing something directly to them. So I like to call my email inbox, my last bastion of one-on-one communication with folks. So my audience that raises their hand for my YouTube channel goes to my email inbox. They know that I'm going to send them a daily broadcast, and it's going to tell them about the weather, right? 65 and cloudy. The rain's back this week. It's super wet, whatever, here in the foothills, right? That's where I live, in the Ozark Mountains, the foothills of the Ozark Mountains here in Arkansas. And that either resonates with somebody or just sort of over their head or rolls off their back. Yep. It doesn't really matter, but it's my thing, right? It's what I do. It's what I decided to do. It's what I continue to do. And that is the key word that you brought up earlier, Ken, was relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships are built on consistency, right? Being consistent with who you are, what your message is, and how you approach delivering that message.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't really matter where your audience is. So, for example, if you build a Facebook group, and I had success with a Facebook group, and I actually archived the group for a while because I wanted to focus on my relationship with my email list from the leads and the traffic that I was bringing over from my YouTube channel. And that's one of the things with focus, right? If you look at the big marketers, or if you just take it away from marketers, but you look at people you follow in general, no matter what you follow them for, whether they're sports people or, whether it's some kind of religious thing or it's just something you're interested in, like, a history podcast or whatever, you tend to notice that wherever you found them, you listen to that, and that's the first thing that you go to. So a podcast or, TikTok, or they're on Facebook, but then you discover they have an email list, right? And you go to that email list, and that will either resonate with you, that message in there. Is it vanilla, right? Or are they actually giving you something a little more closer to them inside of their email list? Because some people have been told that they have to have an email list, but then they don't take their personality over to their email list. They just blast out some bland message because they think it's a sales vehicle. They heard that the money's in the list, so I'm just going to send people links to click on my email list. But then on their Facebook profile or their Facebook group, they're like this person, like this real person. They're going live and interacting with you, right?
Yeah.
Now you may have to deal with all the other knuckleheads that are in that group, but you wouldn't have to do that over the email list. But their emails they're just boring.
Yeah, I think what I like about your approach is the personality aspect of it. That the way you open it up, one can and because I know you well enough already, that I know that that's your personality right there. That's you. And I think injecting that sort of personality and being consistent about it, I think really helps to build a long lasting, a very strong relationship with people. And for me, and I mentioned this in backstage, I'm kind of all over the place when I write my emails. I try to be funny. I try to be my personality is more on the dry side. I try to be witty. I don't know if it works all the time, but I try to be witty in the things I say and try to weave stories, because I'm trying to, at this point in time, explore what works for me and what resonates with my audience. But with an email list, though, it's, and you had mentioned the money's in the list, and it is true, but you still have to build up a relationship. You can't always be just selling to them. That you've got to kind of give a little bit of yourself to these people, open up so that they can truly understand who you are, what you value, and that way you can kind of build that relationship so that they feel like, hey, yeah, he emails me every once in a while, or she emails me every once in a while, and I get this value out of them, and I build that trust, and I feel trust towards that person I'm going to buy. Whereas if you are always just promoting stuff, and I've got a special email account for those kinds of people that just all they do is they promote. I don't even bother opening them up because I know exactly what they're going to be doing every time they send me an email. So it's nice to have that break.
So I will go back and say that promote. It depends for me, right? So I always have a call to action. I always have not a call to action. I always have an action that I want someone to take when I send an email.
Yeah.
Right. And I take that back to, again, direct response. Back in the old days when you mailed something out, you didn't just send them free information and that was it, right? You wanted to get them to do something because you paid to send that letter to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it the same way. When I send somebody an email, I want them to take an action. Right? It may not necessarily be to buy something from that email, but it is to take an action.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to, again, that old direct response and copywriters. And I believe it was Ben Settle, or that's who I heard it from. He said it'd be like going to the doctor on Monday, and you go in the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you go in the doctor, like, doctor, my arm hurts. And it's not that old joke, but it's like, my arm hurts, doc. And the doctor's like, yeah, I know exactly what the problem is. Come back on Wednesday and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Right. So if you just send out what people call quote unquote value emails.
Mhm.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely do not believe in just providing value
Yeah.
for the sake of, oh, it's just valuable information.
Yeah.
Man, I know what Google is, guy. I don't need you to send me valuable information,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I need you to let me know to do something.
Yeah.
Because, without being, too sort of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but to say that I'm the leader and they're looking for me for direction, right? That's the reality of your audience.
Mhm.
That's why they follow you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
they're there because they want to know what it is what you're selling, what
Yeah.
you have for them that's going to solve their problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't give them some type of action, and the reason I say that is you could just give them a piece of valuable information and then they could just take action with it and move on. But I don't have any way of getting a response, right? I need to get feedback from that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if I just send them an email, and I'm using email heavily here, but it could be the same in my Facebook group or in my profile. If I just posted just this long piece of valuable information and I didn't tell them to like comment or share or go click this link or something, right? Then, what real value did I give them, and what real value did I give myself as an affiliate marketer?
Yeah. So I think the term shouldn't be promote, promote, promote. Is take action, take action, take action. Because you, to me, you still can send out valuable information, but as long as the information relates to what it is that we're talking about. So if it's affiliate marketing, then sending him a blog post, sending him to a blog post that talks about a certain aspect of affiliate marketing that you found interesting, that's providing value and getting them to take the action to click on the button. So I see that point. When I talk about promoting, I'm talking about guys that are on my special email, my special email account that I use to purchase products, and I get hammered every single day with emails about the latest launch of a product. And I think with your approach, of getting to take action, which is absolutely what you should do, is to provide them with some bit of information that can help them along on their journey to be maybe an affiliate marketer, or whether it be in whatever niche that you're in, but to solidify your authority as someone that knows something that can help people, right? When you tell somebody, hey, I ran across this blog post or part of this group, and somebody brought up this really important topic, and it was on this blog post, and I want to share it with you guys because it really, really resonated with me, and I know that since you're part of this journey along with me, that this can help you too. Go ahead and you can check out this blog post over here, something like that. But yeah, I totally agree with you that there sometimes what I do is with my emails, and I'll write something that's more valuable, but I don't provide any links, is towards the end I'll add in some of these other links, these kind of like footers in the bottom. And I learned that from you, where I say, hey, if you're looking to build a business, and I know you're looking to build one, here are my top recommendations for this, this, and this. And I've tracked it where I've seen people actually click on those links, and I get them cookied for whatever product or service that I'm an affiliate for.
So I think it goes back to what we just said is we're being consistent with our message and the fact that we're helping them solve their problem, which was the reason they signed up to our list and
Yeah.
became part of our audience. The people you're talking about, I think that what we use, we're talking about this backstage, and it was churn and burn.
Churn and burn.
So if you buy a product, that product's on affiliate marketing. Most of the people that you're talking about that you get on their list because you purchased a product, they're not building an audience. They're building a list to sell stuff to.
Yeah.
They're literally like, they are in the make money online niche, and they don't care what the tactic, what the technique. This is about making money. And it changes from email to email to email.
Yeah.
This week it's affiliate marketing. Next week it's Bitcoin.
Yep.
Next week it's NFTs. Then it's setting up a Fiverr shop, a t-shirt shop, right? Then back to affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Then it's back to being an affiliate for Bitcoin, using or selling this latest hot gadget or app.
Yeah.
I think that's the distinction right there. When you're talking about how to build a list as an affiliate marketer, the technical aspects aside, the channel aside, the media aside, the vehicle, the platform, whether it's email or Facebook or TikTok, you know, it's you're building a list because you are building a relationship with
Yes.
those people, and they know day to day, week to week, what they're getting from you is in their best interest to solve that original problem that they signed up to your list for. And I
Yeah.
think that's the difference in building a list using content to help solve a problem versus building a list of just selling a thing to help somebody get over the hurdle. And then the next thing is, you need this next thing, you need this next thing, you need this next thing.
Yeah.
But again, I'll go back to saying that once someone's on your list, once somebody's in your audience, you should always have something to sell them, because
Yeah.
that's what we're in the business of, right? We can't
Yeah.
be in business if we don't have stuff to sell,
Yeah.
right? But it has to be valuable and has to be congruent to the original offer.
Yeah. And a lot of those emails, and I don't even bother reading them. I just delete them. I don't send them to spam or anything because I just like to see the headlines and stuff. And just as a side note, I don't know how you can write so many emails like that. I get emails every single day, and pretty soon I'm going to start opening them because I want to see actually what's in there, and if they're lengthy, which I doubt. It's I just find it to be interesting because when I put together an email, and I know you do the same thing too, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. There's a lot of thought about what is the action that I want. How am I going to serve this person today? How am I going to help them? But also, what is the action that I want them to take through my email? And I always kind of take that time to really think about how I'm going to kind of walk them through this journey in my email, and the outcome of that email, which is obviously to click on some link or to visit a blog post or video or whatever it is, as opposed to the other one, which is just hey, you've been instantly approved, right? I'm like, what is this, right? People open it, and it's just such a different way of communicating with a list versus communicating with your audience.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Subject line, cha-ching, about your commissions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you open it up and it's like, click this link to find out about your commissions. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, those are the types of emails, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I've sent those similar types of emails, right? Like $0 to $100.
Yeah.
I use that,
Yeah.
because the people on my list, specifically 30-minute marketing, are interested in affiliate marketing, and most of them are at 0 and they want to know how to get to 100.
Yep.
So if it says go from $0 to $100, you open up my email. Sometimes there'll be a lengthy sort of, guide, like you said. And sometimes it'll just be, hey, click this link for this valuable piece of information. You won't regret it.
Yeah.
And
And usually, based off of your content, you're sending them to a video that you just made.
That's it. So, I mean, sometimes, my audience knows that, and it's going to have my signature, it's going to have my PS, and it's going to be whatever. And they know that they're going to click on the thing. And when they go to it, they're going to get what I'm talking about. It's going to explain what I'm talking about. And typically is to go from $0 to $100. First, you need to focus. Then you need to get down to work, right? And it's like that, very rarely is it going to go to, just a sales page, but sometimes I do that too. I mean, my audience also knows, right? The list that I built based upon all the different places that my audience sees me, and they get on my email list, going back to an email list, or if they're in my Facebook group, or even if they're on my Facebook profile, sometimes they know when they click, they're going to go right to a sales page, because I think that is the best way to get them to where they need to be, because that copy resonates with the point. It gets down to the matter of the fact of this sales page tells you what you need to know. And when you click and you buy, you're going to get the thing you need.
Yeah. And that all goes to you though. And this is for all of you guys out there that are building your list, of knowing your audience, and knowing what's working with them, how they like to be approached, how they like to be led. And that, I think that all boils down to knowing that audience. Whereas, with the other, lists that you can build, it's just pure and simple. I just need you to click on that link. I just need you to click on that link, so that you get cookied, so that you buy something from me. I'm going to keep emailing you until you buy something from me. Or ours is it's obviously we're using it to make money too, but it's to build up that relationship because we want long term, we want longevity. We want these people to be with us for years, and we're going to continue providing value to those people through our emails, through our content, to keep people, with us on this journey.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mentioned direct response and copywriting. So Brian Kurtz, who worked with Boardroom, and they created these books, and Marty
Yep.
Edelson, like this is old school direct response,
Yep.
like sending mail, catalogs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When he moved to email, he actually would print his email list and then take it to the bank and put it in a safety deposit box. And it wasn't just because, it wasn't backed up or whatever. It was the significance of, or the symbolism of him saying to himself, this is how valuable these people are to me.
Yeah.
This audience,
Yeah.
right? He calls them family,
Yeah.
right? And he would literally take that list and put it in a safety deposit box and lock it up in the bank. I don't know how long he did that, but that was his routine.
Yep.
Because in the old days of direct response, they literally had a Rolodex or a list of names on paper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To mail out these things. And that's what they would do. They would take them off site and they would store them someplace where they knew they were safe from fire, from theft, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And internet marketing has sort of brought this thing. How do I build a list as an affiliate marketer? How do I build a list as an affiliate marketer? Instantly goes to email. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me anyway, and I probably everyone listening to this podcast or watching on the YouTube channel, it goes to email. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, throw up a squeeze page, get traffic, get leads, get clicks, get sales, mm-hmm. right? And send as many emails as you can, because the more emails I send, the more clicks I'm going to get, and the more chances I'm going to get somebody to buy something. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I'm not going to argue with any of that. How to build a list. Yeah. As an affiliate marketer, how do you build a list? You do all that because that's the point, right? Yeah. It's just a different way of looking at it. The way we look at it as, look, the people on my list, they're my audience. And I mean, it goes back to the other things like, how do you treat your audience? I also believe that if anybody bugs me on my list, they're not going to be on my list very long because it is my list.
Yeah.
Like if you send, like if you reply to me with like just constant, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And you never take any action. Well, that unsubscribe link works for anybody, right? I can click it and unsubscribe you from my list just as easy as you can click it. So
that's right. It's absolutely right. And yeah, I really do. I think people understand the overall concept of what we're talking about, but I think what you need to understand once you get into it and you're building that list is that there's so many subtle nuances that come with putting together that list and nurturing that list and keeping people together and keeping people on track with your message to keep them with you. Because if you start going off track and doing something different and people aren't used to it, that's pretty much an automatic unsubscribe right there. People are going to just leave because they're like, where did this come from? This came out of left field. I don't like that. I'm out of here. I'm used to getting my knowledge bits every day about affiliate marketing and steps that I can take towards getting there, and maybe something inspirational about affiliate marketing. And so I think that people don't understand that, that what the professor talked about is true about list building, but there's so many little things. And we always say it depends. It depends. There's so many little nuances that you start learning along the way. And that's the truth. That is the truth about list building. It really is.
Yeah. So the affiliate files, the truth about making money online. The truth about making money online is you need a list. But I would take it a step further and I would define a list as an audience. Yeah. And you need to build a list, turn them into an audience, establish a relationship with that audience. And then again, you take them different places because people digest information different ways. And they're also more comfortable in different places. Like, I mean, there's people that are in my audience that are not on my email list.
Yep.
They're on my Facebook profile. They're in my old Facebook group. They show up in the YouTube comments on my YouTube channel, but they just never check their email.
Yep.
And maybe, you know, a WhatsApp group would resonate with them. Maybe a Slack group would resonate with them. You know, eventually, maybe I'll have all those things someday, because I do believe that you should have every channel available to you. You should have a, you know, a stance, a platform, and you should take a stance on that platform, and you should be getting your message out. But that takes a long time. It's also very tiring, and you may never grow into that. You know, it's okay to be just where you are and find success and just stay there. You know, not everybody's going to be Gary V or, you know, Tony Robbins or whatever, right? Whoever you follow, you're not all going to be there. 1,000 true fans, you know, maybe you only need 100 true fans to get to where you want to go as an affiliate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So bottom line is, it depends.
It depends. But how do I build a list as an affiliate marketer? Define what a list means to you, and then communicate with that list as you would, or as you would want to be communicated with, or as you're communicated with by the list that you're on, the list that you find value in. Just find value and give it to people. Let them know that, hey, you're on my list and I appreciate you.
Yep.
Yep. And with that, I'm Gary Baker. He's Camp Furukawa. We'll talk to you later. Bye.